Hello my loves and welcome back to what might actually be, it could be the last episode of Let's Play Dark Souls, it could be. I've tried most of the optional areas around here and they fucking suck. I mean they're really fucking bad and I cannot be arsed with them, they're no fun. They're actually no fun whatsoever. So I'm not gonna bother. I'm so sorry. They're just no fun and they're not worth it anyway. All the bosses at the end of them, all the bosses are just like, they're the worst. They are the worst. The bosses at the end of the optional areas in these DLCs are just recolors of old bosses. And the runs up to them are hellish. I mean, they are categorically hellish. They're the worst things. They're just no fun. They're no fun to play, and they're sure as fuck no fun to watch. So, yeah. Oh god, we've got lots of players here. Araktor, why not? Who are you? Gundos! Yeah, we'll have both of you for going and killing the Nashandra, the queen of all evil. Yes, we're gonna go kill her. We're gonna go give her a good drubbing is what we're doing. And yeah, I'm so sorry for those who are expecting me to go and do the optional areas. I've tried them. They are fucking ridiculous. They are... Hello. Sorry, I forgot what I was saying there. They are hellish. They're just hellish, and I cannot... Hello. Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, I can't be bothered with them. They're no fun. They are no fun at all. And you don't want to sit here listening to me carp and moan about them. If they had unique bosses at the end of them, it would be great. If they had unique bosses, it would be wonderful, but they don't. They're just long, tortuous, badly designed runs. The Throne of Want. So this is it. We're gonna get to the Throne of Want, we're gonna kill Nashandra, and yeah, this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be a well cool. Whoa, whoa, Gundos, you nearly knocked me off the edge there. I mean, you look great, but yeah, he looks a bit like Rocky Horror, doesn't he? Maybe should have been his name, Rocky. Dr. Scott. Sorry, I'm forgetting myself. Anywho, yeah, this is the end. This is the end! We're gonna kill Nashandra, and there's also an extra boss, because we were doing the Scholar of the First Sin, there's an extra boss as well. Nashandra's actually pretty... Compared to some of the bosses we've had, she's pretty damn easy. I'm gonna summon fucking everybody! We're gonna have an army! Head of Vengal, yeah, let's go! Oh, the other summon signs disappeared. Okay, fine, we'll just have 3 then. That's fine. In we go! There she is. The Child of Manus, Nashandra, who wants the Throne of Want. She actually wants to be a goddess. Whoa! Bloody hell, we need to destroy these things. Because they are, they're causing some problems. Alright, Nashandra. Let's get rid of you. God, look at her. She's amazing, isn't she? Whoa! Ow, thank you. Me lady. I mean, you are amazing, but not much of a patch on the bosses we've fought up to this point. She's actually really fucking easy. Compared to the fights at the end. Oh, be careful of that beam. There she goes. That's the last boss. That's Nashandra. Actually... Because this is Scholar of the First Sin, there will be another one. Uh-oh. Oh, what's happening? Another Sunlight Medal. What is this? Proceed to the Throne of Want, shall we? Shall we? Let's do it. So this is what Nashandra was after, what Vendrick sealed against her. It's sort of like, oh look, the giants. The giants all sealed here. Oh fuck. Oh, they're all coming alive. Oh, wow! Are they going to form a bridge? Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. I like that.
You link the fire. You who bear the curse. Once the fire is linked, souls will flourish anew, and all of this will play out again.
You see, it's setting up the cycles.
It is your choice to embrace.
Ah, so again we have the choice. Again we have the choice. Do we embrace the cycle, or do we tell it to do one, basically? This is the throne of want. It just keeps going. It just keeps cycling over. It doesn't matter if you link the fire or if you deny it. Eventually, a champion will arise who will link the fire, you see? So,
Sovereign, take your throne.
Basically, you become the Lord of Drangleic. You become Vendrick, essentially. You become a sort of like an ephemeral god who will eventually be defeated in his turn.
Only you can see.
Oh, that's so grim, isn't it? That's so grim. But as a result of that, this world will fly apart and be reshaped again. Certain elements of it will be retained, just as they were retained from Dark Souls 1. But that's what happens. It's sort of setting up this notion. Is that it? Oh, wow, that's the end. I thought we had to fight, because it's the Scholar of the First Sin. I thought that we fought, oh, what's his face? The actual Scholar. Weird. Weird. But that was fun. I mean, that was really interesting. The game is not my favourite of the Dark Souls, I've got to say. It is not my favourite by any stretch of the imagination. But it was... It's an odd one. It's really ambiguous. I feel very ambivalently about it. Yeah, you know, I raved at the end of Dark Souls 1. I absolutely went mental at the end of Bloodborne, because Bloodborne is one of my favourite games ever. Dark Souls 2 is the very best and the worst of times. It does some things that are better than all of the other Dark Souls games combined. Certain things it does beautifully. Other things... It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. That's why I didn't do the optional areas. I've tried them, and they're just no fun. They are no fun to do, and I cannot be bothered with them. If the bosses at the end were worth it, then it'd be fine, but they're not, unfortunately. So what I like about the end there is the way it sets up this notion that this world is cyclical. It's based on revolution. So after Gwyn basically broke the metaphysics of this world by kindling the first flame, it set up this perpetual motion where everything just, whatever happens, some entity is going to arise to either kindle the flame or deny the kindling of the flame and reshape the world one way or the other. And it doesn't matter which one happens. It doesn't matter. Somewhere, another champion will arise to do the opposite. Eventually, they will be defeated. Basically, the heroes, the protagonists who arise from the ranks of the undead perpetuate the cycle of the metaphysics of this world. And I kind of like that. It really is. It becomes much more apparent in Dark Souls 3, which we will do very soon. Because Dark Souls 3 is beautifully designed so that each of the areas and each of the bosses echoes certain elements of the games that came before. It's really beautiful, it really is. Dark Souls 3 is my favourite of the Dark Souls games by a country mile. It's not everyone's favourite, most people prefer Dark Souls 1. I really love Dark Souls 3. I think it improves massively on most of the other games, barring Bloodborne. I think it has the best metaphysics. I think it has the best characters. I think it has the best ethos. It has this very persistently grim atmosphere about it. And what you see in Dark Souls 3 is this metaphysics spiraling out of control. So Dark Souls 3 is like millions of years into the future, so there have been countless recyclings and retreads of these metaphysics of these worlds up until the point that Dark Souls 3 occurs, and as a result everything is collapsing on itself. The metaphysics is actually failing in Dark Souls 3, so no champion has arisen to link the fire or deny the linking. So in desperation, whatever metaphysics, whatever engine is turning, resurrects lots of old champions to do it, but they deny it as well, and you've got to go and start gathering them so that things keep turning. It's really cool. It's really damn cool. It's also just technically the best of the games. But yeah, Dark Souls 2, it's a flawed gem. It is a very good game in many, many respects. It does some very beautiful things, but certain elements of it fuck me off to the nth degree. I can tell you. I cut out a lot of me swearing in these videos. I can tell you. I cut out a lot of me just getting irate. And that's the weird thing. Dark Souls 1, I didn't have to do that. Even when I was fighting, say, Calamite, you know, the really hard, tricky bosses, didn't have to. Didn't have to. It just wasn't irritating. This one does get irritating because there are just certain things that you ask yourself, why did the designers do it like that? Why are there these ridiculous gank moments where I just die because there's a monster exploding from behind a wall or materializing behind me or whatever? Why are there all these bloody involuntary invasions everywhere that just annoy you, you know? It's such a shame because I think Dark Souls 2, it has the best environments, it has the best variety of environment of the Dark Souls games by a country mile. It really does. It's very, very beautiful in that regard, and it has the ethos of each of the environments is massively different from all the others. Like, you go to Hyde's Tower of Flame for the first time and it doesn't even feel like a Dark Souls game. It's so bright, there's sunlight and there's white towers, and I love that. I really love that. It has really deep gameplay, you know, there's a lot of variety here, but it's just so fucking annoying at times that you want to give up. I mean, were I not Let's Playing it, I'd have probably given up at certain points in this game. The Shrine of Amana, I'd have given up there. The Iron Keep, I'd have given up there. The certain areas in the DLCs, I mean, the DLCs are spectacular in this game. They are absolutely spectacular, but there are still one or two areas that are just like, it's like, why did you do it like that when so much of the rest of the DLC areas are so good, you know? And I found that, for the most part, I found that in Ilium Lois. There are just certain areas in Ilium Lois where you're like, oh no, I'm running into these brick walls again, where there are just too many enemies thrown at you that are doing too many things. It's such a shame. And also, the last boss is a bit shit. I love the look of her. Nashandra is amazing to look at, but she's so easy. Even were I not as powerful as I was, she'd have been easy. She's a really easy Dark Souls boss. There are some of the normal enemies are harder than her. They really are. They genuinely are. I'm not like engaging in hyperbole there. They genuinely are. I mean, Gwyn wasn't the hardest boss of Dark Souls by a country mile. I'd give that to Calamite myself. But he is still a challenge. He's still a worthy final boss. Nashandra is just like, you know, she's really damn easy. I mean, the first time I came to her, and I came to her by accident because I didn't know where she was, I nearly killed her. I nearly killed her and ended the game before doing loads of the optional stuff. It's also the biggest of the Dark Souls games, which is, it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing in the sense that you've got loads of variety and loads of longevity. It's a really bad thing in the sense that you do get bored of it. you do get bored of it after a while. And you just get tired of going through and doing, you know, it's not the kind of gameplay style where it should be elongated too much. It has a very finite runtime. And I think Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 1 get it just about right. Bloodborne is the best in that regard. Bloodborne is the epitome of these games, without a shadow of a doubt. It just does everything so much better than all the others, you know? Just so much better. But even so, you know, it was worth playing to get a little bit of the background, to get a little bit of the lore, to understand a bit more of the metaphysics. It was worth playing. And I'm very happy to have played it through. I might go back to it, but not for a long, long time. It'll be a long time before I do this again, I can tell you. Because there are just certain areas I can't face. I just can't face doing, you know? But even so, yeah, that was interesting. It was an interesting experience. And I will see you again for Dark Souls 3, where we'll have a whale of a time, I guarantee you. Hello again, my loves, and I know I said I was done, and I kind of am, but I'm kind of not as well, because there's some other stuff that we need to do. There's some other stuff that I want to show you. We need to do the end of the Scholar of the First Sin, okay? So, to do that, we need to go to Drangleic, and we need to go... No, we don't. We need to go here. We need to go to the Undead Ditch, and we need to go and see our friend Vendrick again. So Nashandra, one of the things Dark Souls 2 does, which I think is better than all the other games, it allows you to keep playing after the end, which I think is great. I think that's fucking brilliant. But we need to go and we need to see Vendrick. And it's... Oh, that was stupid. That was stupid. So you got a little bit of an appendix at the end here. How cool is that? Yay! We need to go and see Vendrick. I'm gonna humanize myself. Yay! I mean, I would have loved to have done the other optional areas, but I can't. I can't, ladies and gentlemen. They're just so fucking annoying. I've tried them, and I've tried them, and I've tried them, and I lost my patience with them. But to finish Scholar of the First Sin, the add-on, we need to go down here, and we need to face Vendrick. Do you remember how Vendrick was this really sad, like, zombie-like thing? Well, me loves. Now, we've got all the crowns, as he told us to do. These guys won't follow us into here, so we're fine. As he told us to do, so we can go and talk to him. Hello, my love. How you doing? He's still a very sad zombie-like thing. I love this. I love Vendrick in this game. You know, he is built up throughout the first half of the game as like the god. He's like Gwyn. He's the god of gods. And look at him. He's pathetic. I like Gwyn. Examine. Now we have the crowns. Now we can go into the dream of the king. And this is the end of Scholar of the First Sin. And we can talk to him. Yeah, I know.
Seeker of fire, deliverer of crowns.
That'd be me.
What do you see in the flames?
Find
the crowns. And
I've got him.
Answers.
I've got him.
The crowns hold the strength of lords from times long past.
I know.
Seek adversity.
I've got them.
You, seeker of fire, coveter of the throne.
Okay, so what do I do? I've got the crowns. I'm sure I've got them all. Oh, so... Why is that? Do I need to wear one of the crowns or something? I'm not entirely sure. I should be able... Do I have to kill him or something? Or do I have to wear one of the crowns, maybe? Because I do have them. Sure, I've got them all. Yeah, I've got them all. Crown of the Old Iron King, Crown of the Ivory King, Crown of the Sunken King. So what do? Do I wear one? Oh, that looks awful. Oh dear, no. If we're going to wear one, it ain't going to be that one. That don't look much better either, but fine. Hey, Vendrick! Ah! That ain't working either. So what do we do? Do I have to wear one? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what we have to do. Or maybe we have to go to that door in the Shrine of Amana. Hey man, I've got the crowns. Oh, yes.
Seeker of fire, conqueror of dark.
Yes.
I too sought fire once.
Yeah.
With fire, they say, a true king can harness the curse.
Alright.
A lie, but I knew no better.
Okay, that's interesting.
Seeker of fire, you know not the depth of dark within you.
Well, he'd know a lot about that. He's plumbed the depths of the dark, if you want.
Flame, oh, flame.
That was a naughty joke, by the way, because his wife is from the
Seeker of
dark.
fire, I see you've subdued another.
Oh, I've got to keep
creature,
talking to him. Right, right.
one of the father of the abyss spawn. Confounded quintessence of humanity.
Yeah, that's right, Manus, yes.
The abyss once had form, but then dissipated.
Yes, it did.
And yet, traces of its existence endured.
I love the voice. The voice is fucking
Each
brilliant.
fragment, thirsting for power, spread dark with no relent. My dear Chandra was one such fragment.
Yes, she was.
A feeble, tiny thing that thirsted for power more than any other.
Yes, she was.
Driven by insatiable lust for a worthy vessel.
Hello, my loves, and here we are once again at the tomb of Vendrick himself. Yes, the Arch King of Drangleic. Difficult boss, this one. Tricky, not complex, but very tricky. In the sense that his moveset's really limited, but it only takes 2 hits maximum for him to massacre you. He'll just kill you, basically. If you're not full health and you get hit by him, he'll just kill you. That overhead swipe can kill you in one go. So you need to be really on your game with him and strike at very particular times, or he's just going to kill you. It's very peculiar, the fight. It's very, very unusual. You just got to get used to the fact that he's not going to do very much. He's a very limited boss, and he's not complex, but he is just a bruiser. He'll just kill you in a couple of hits, so it's an endurance trial more than anything. You've just got to keep up the rhythm, which is actually surprisingly difficult. Especially that's the most annoying thing he does, because that breaks your rhythm completely. When he does that, it completely breaks the rhythm, so you've got to get it back again. In fact, that leap back is probably the most annoying things any of the bosses in Dark Souls 2 do. A lot of them do it, and it's frustrating on all of them. In fact, for some of the bosses, that's what makes them hard at all. The fact that they leap back out of your... like that. That is really bizarre. It's an odd and frustrating move. You've got to be very careful. Calamite did it. Do you remember the big dragon in Dark Souls 1? He did it, and it was annoying when he did it too. Now, the last time I fought Vendrick, I was on the edge of killing him. He was like 3 hits away from dying, and then my controller turned off on its own. I don't know why. It was some sort of mechanical fault, and it just stopped. And of course, he killed me in a couple of hits, and that was the end of that. So, you know, as you can imagine, I was a little bit narked. I mean, in many respects, he epitomizes the rules for the Dark Souls bosses. You don't get greedy, you have to keep your dexterity up, you need to know their movesets and their tells, you have to know how they telegraph. He's kind of like the epitome of a Dark Souls boss in that regard. You need to know exactly when to dodge, because if you don't do it right, that will catch you and it will kill you. The hitbox on that sword is slightly weird. I've got to say. It's not quite right. Like a lot of the bosses in Dark Souls. The hitbox on the weapon is weird. Not as bad as Velstadt, but weird. Oh, fuck. I need him to do something else. No, I need him to do another attack, so I've got time to heal. There we are. That's it. Whoop. If he hits you with the overhead, by the way, you just die. Whoop. It's a very powerful attack, that overhead. Whoop. Now, this is where I was the last time when my controller cut out, so I'm a bit superstitious about it now. Whoop. And you always have to attack him after he's finished attacking, which is weird. If you don't do that, he's going to catch you. There we go. There is Vendrick the Last King. The first and last of all Drangleic. Yeah, very weird. Very, very unusual. Now we can go and claim his soul, which isn't here, strangely. It's in the Shrine of Amana. I know, it's odd. I mean, if you didn't know to do this, if I hadn't looked this up, I would not know what to do here. It's really quite weird. But, yeah, that's what we need to do. I'm going to go spend the souls first, obviously, because I might lose some otherwise. In fact, I'd almost certainly lose some, so I'm going to do that first, yeah? And then we'll go into the Dream of the King, or the Memory of the King, which is the last area of the DLC, and of Scholar of the First Sin. Really bizarre, really interesting. This is the kind of thing Dark Souls 2 does really well, I've got to say. Level up? Yeah, level me up, woman. Let's go for a bit of vitality, because I've been told that my vitality is essential, apparently. There we go, I suppose. Right, now we need to go to the Shrine of fucking Amana, unfortunately. My least favourite area of the game, but, you know, we need to go to the Crumbled Ruins. There's a door here that will open now that Vendrick is dead. I like Vendrick. I like the fight. He is not Gwyn. He's not like a direct reincarnation of Gwyn, but he is the version of Gwyn dynamically in this new world. You know how it's hard to explain, but the metaphysics of this world is all to do with cycles, right? So this is one of the latter-day cycles of this world, Drangleic. It's one of the latter-day cycles of Lordran, as was, just as Lothric later in Dark Souls 3 is. And basically, Vendrick fulfills the same criteria as Gwyn in that cycle, which is why they kind of rhyme with one another. It's why they kind of echo one another. It's even more pronounced in Dark Souls 3. You'll see when we get there. This should open now. Yeah. Okay, so this is it. The Soul of the King. Okay, so let's dive right in. We should be able to endure this now. It shouldn't kick us out almost immediately. And Vendrick should have different dialogue. So let's have a look and see if we've done it right. I hope we've done it right. Hello.
One day fire will fade, and dark will become a curse. Men will be free from death, left to wander eternally.
That's not necessarily a good thing.
Will be ours, and in our true shape, we can bury the false legends of yore. Only, is this our only choice? Seeker of fire, coveter of the throne. Seek strength.
Oh, what's he doing? Oh, he's blessing the crowns. Interesting. Now, basically, if...
follow.
Cool. Is that it? Oh, okay. Okay, so let's dive right in. We should be able to endure this now. It shouldn't kick us out almost immediately. And Vendrick should have different dialogue. So let's have a look and see if we've done it right. I hope we've done it right. Hello.
One day fire will fade, and dark will become a curse. Men will be free from death, left to wander eternally.
That's not necessarily a good thing.
Be ours, and in our true shape, we can bury the false legends of yore. Only, is this our only choice? Seeker of fire, coveter of the throne. Seek strength.
Oh, what's he doing? Oh, he's blessing the crowns. Interesting. Now, basically, if...
Follow.
Cool. Is that it? Oh, okay. Is that it? I'm sure heat radiates from the ancient crowns. Oh, that's done then. Okay. Okay, my loves, here we are at the very, very end of the game. This is the Throne of Want once again. We've defeated the first two bosses that are here, and the Protectors and the Chandra. They're done. Now we get to fight the super secret boss of Dark Souls 2. The one that only occurs if you get all the crowns of the kings, including Vendrick's. It's Aldia, who we've met before. He's an interesting boss. He's actually kind of the opposite of Nashandra. Just as Nashandra is far, far too easy, this guy is far too hard, but for all the wrong reasons. He's, I love the design of the monster. I think he looks great. I like the character and what he represents. But he's also a little bit dull, and he's also cheap. He's phenomenally cheap. He can kill you in one hit. He's very difficult to reach because of the fire around him, which saps your health. The only reason he's any challenge at all is because he's cheap, and that's a real shame. He is like Nashandra. He's nowhere near as good as the final conflict in Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 3. Certainly not as good as the final conflicts in the DLCs of this game. I mean, my god, the final conflicts in the DLCs of this game are some of the best in all of Dark Souls. Aldia's kind of an afterthought. He doesn't feel quite as developed as he should be. There's not enough technique in him. It's like they were rushed. It's almost like they were rushed and they had to do something that was hard and difficult to make up for how easy Nashandra was, so let's throw something in that's dirt cheap. It just doesn't really work as a final encounter for me. For me, something more like the Ivory King would have been way better. Way, 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 way better. Nashandra should have been a little bit nastier, you know? Maybe there could have been something where once you've got all of the crowns, the Nashandra gathers together her sisters and they form something bigger, something like Manus. I mean, they are shards of Manus after all. This doesn't really work for me, I've got to say. It's a little bit... I don't even understand why he's fighting you. I don't understand his motivations, because he has guided you this far. He's been sort of like your sage throughout this, and I don't entirely understand why he's doing what he's doing, you know? It's odd, it's bizarre to me. But yeah, this is it. This is the super secret final boss. He's alright, I suppose. Nice looking monster. You get a nice different ending as well. You can actually choose to do the original ending or an alternative ending, just like in the original Dark Souls, which is actually kind of cool. But as a fight, he's not fun. I've got to say, he's not fun. Most of the time, if you die to him, it's cheap. It's because he catches you in the midst of an animation and you just can't get out of the way in time, or you fall off the edge of the arena, or you're forced off the edge of the arena. It's not great. It's not great, sadly. It's a bit of a bum note after the sheer brilliance of the DLCs, and I mean the absolute sheer magnificence of the DLC and the DLCs and their end bosses. This is not the best, I've got to say. But it is, I mean, it's nice that they added in something different, because Nishandra, I love her as a character, I love the design of her, but as a final encounter, she's bollocks. She's so easy. I mean, I took her down my first time. She's so damn easy. The only thing with Nishandra that makes her challenging is the fact that she can curse you. But as a boss, in terms of her movesets and whatnot, nah, she's really dull. She's really dull. It would have been nice if she became something that was more like Manus, you know? And that's it. That's Aldia done. Not that great. It's alright, it's fine. There needed to be something better here. Yeah. Why did you come all this way?
Or something else entirely.
So I choose here. You can choose to do the original ending and go into the Throne of Want, or you can do exactly what you did in Dark Souls 1 and say, you know what, fuck this, and leave. Just end the metaphysics of this world. Of course, we know that you don't, and Aldia points that out here. It doesn't matter what choice you make. The metaphysics of this world will continue to cycle regardless of what you do, whether you want it or not. That's the whole point of Dark Souls 2. It's actually, I like that. I think that's a really cool element. Yeah, there is no path. There's nothing you can do. You are like a circuit. You're a bit like the One in the Matrix, you know? You are born to facilitate this and nothing else. Nothing what you want matters. You know, nothing what you believe matters. You are going to facilitate the cycles of this world whether you like it or not. And that's it, ladies and gents. That is Dark Souls 2. When we come back, we may take a look at Dark Souls 3, or I might take a bloody break after that. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Until then, bye-bye!